Okay. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about later on in this video, which is going to be the main emphasis of this video. But I think you can almost predict. Damn, what is this? What I'm about to talk about right now. Number one, you notice I'm doing 3 videos 3 days in a row, which is highly unusual for me. Highly unusual. I don't think I've done that since, I can't think of the last time I've done that, to be truthful. I can think of the last time I did 3 videos in a 4-day period. But I can't think of the last time I did 3 videos 3 days in a row. Because I did a video Sunday evening, I did a video yesterday morning, and I'm doing a video today. Yeah. I would say this might be either the very first time or at most only the second time I've ever done a video, 3 videos 3 days in a row. Again, the closest I've come to doing 3 videos in a row, I've done 3 videos in a 4-day period. The last time I did that, I think, was in early to mid-November. I did 3 videos in a 4-day period. Might have even been, no, there might have been one time in early December too, when I was talking about the whole Me Too movement. I think I did as many as 3 videos in either a 4-day period or a 5-day period. But I can't remember the last time I've done videos 3 days in a row. But the first roughly third of this video, of course, is going to be me once again addressing, I'll use this term, interlocutor. I'm going to be addressing my interlocutor, known as the old man, aka the Grim Reaper. Now, first of all, no, actually, you know what I'm going to start off saying about the Grim Reaper? You know he did another reply. To give you the backstory, in case you haven't watched my last few videos, some of you all might be watching, this might be the first video you're watching in a few days. It started with the video I did last Friday. Last Friday, I did a video that now I'm going to have to fucking look up because I can't remember the title of my own video. That's sad, ain't it? When you can't remember the title of your own video. I know when I did it, but I can't remember the name of it. Okay. Yeah. I did a video last Friday called How Women's Sexual and Hypergamous Nature Correlates to Male Violence. How women's sexual and hypergamous nature correlates to male violence. And that was video podcast number 87. Dang, so if that was 87, then this should be video podcast 90 technically instead of 89. I said video podcast 89. It should be video podcast 90. Love this stuff. This is my favorite flavor. Although I gotta try orange. I heard orange is really good. But and some of y'all might wonder, Alan, why do you pose with your drinks? As you know, I use this as my thumbnails. That's why I pose for a few seconds next to my beverages, because that's my thumbnails. Somebody asked me about that the other day or the other week. They said, Alan, why do you promote beverages on your YouTube channel? Here's how it started. If you're a YouTube creator, once you record a YouTube video and you upload it, Once it's finished uploading, YouTube automatically gives you 3 thumbnail options. They'll give you 3 choices for thumbnails to use. Or if you don't want to use one of the 3 thumbnails that YouTube generates, you can create your own custom thumbnail, your own custom thumbnail. So what happened when I did my first 2 videos, starting with last April of last year, when I did my first 2 or 3 videos, one of my 3 thumbnail choices was always one of the snapshots of me holding up my beverage. So starting with, I think, either my 3rd or 4th video, I said, well, I'm just going to do that for every video. So that's the backstory of my beverage. Yeah, I just said, you know what? Every video, I'm going to show myself holding up one of my favorite beverages, and it just stuck. Okay, here's how I'm going to do it. Hopefully my last response to the Grim Reaper. Fingers crossed. Pray for me. Hopefully this is going to be my final rebuttal to the old man, a.k.a. the Grim Reaper. Even though, realistically, some of you all, not a lot of y'all, but some of y'all, small percentage of y'all, you all know you love this shit. Y'all love YouTube beefs and YouTube drama, so some of y'all love this shit. Y'all love back and forth between podcast hosts. No, but, you know, to his credit, I listened to his latest reply to my last reply. He said one comment that left me feeling convicted. I will concede that point. So, Grim Reaper, if you're listening, I will start off. Now, I'm getting ready to criticize you too. I'm going to call you out, but I'm going to start off with a compliment. He made one comment that pretty much shut me up. It left me feeling convicted. He said at one point during his latest reply, and I'm probably going to end up slightly paraphrasing it, but he essentially said, if Alan Roger Currie is a businessman that's totally focused on serving his clients, the needs of his clients, and he's totally focused on his bottom line and, you know, enhancing his book sales and attracting more coaching and consultation clients, why is he wasting time replying to me? And that comment, I have to publicly say, made me say, damn. Touche. Because the reason why I will say that's a valid comment, because my own older brother has said that starting with last year. That's been the primary sentiment of my, like my brother, he's funny. He calls people who are distractions mosquitoes. That's his nickname for people who are distractions, mosquitoes. So he'll say, why are you concerned with mosquitoes? Why are you concerned with mosquitoes? Yeah, that's you know, to tell me a little bit of me and my brother's business or our relationship. Yeah, that's one of my brother's biggest pet peeves with me, his younger brother, me. If you were to talk to my brother, he'll tell you that's one of his biggest pet peeves with me. He hates for me to offer responses and rebuttals to those he categorizes as mosquitoes. He hates that about me. He's always like, bro, why are you doing that shit? Why? Why? He always gets on my case. And just, matter of fact, just in the last 24 hours, he was basically like, bruh, why are you re-engaging with that dude, man? That dude's a mosquito. He's in your world, he's a mosquito. He might be a rhinoceros in his own world, but in your world, he's a mosquito. Don't you hate when mosquitoes always buzzing around your ear and around your arm? You start slapping your arm and stuff. Yeah, that's my brother. He refers, and that's nothing personal against the Grim Reaper. My brother calls everybody that. Anybody who's like a distraction or what he perceives as just a hater, somebody looking for attention from me, he calls those mosquitoes. He's like, if they ain't helping your bottom line, they're a mosquito. So yeah, man, when the Grim Reaper said that, I ain't going to lie, man. That left me feeling big. When he said Alan Roger Currie is a businessman that's focused on serving the needs of his clients and focused on his bottom line and enhancing his book sales and attracting more coaching and consultation clients. Why has he already done 2 videos responding to me? Even Alex, and I know Alex probably gonna get mad because I'm calling him out my name. Now it's interesting. Alex, aka Don Calypso, knows the Grim Reaper personally. They live in Philadelphia together. But Alex, of all people, just recently got on my case. He's like, dude, you playing right into the Grim Reaper's hands. Why are you responding to him? He was like, dude, don't just ignore him. Don't even. When you respond to him, you giving him What did I say the other day? I said he thrives on beefs because it gives him content for his shows. That's why he loves beefs. It gives him content. If you took away the Grim Reaper's beefs, you would literally probably eliminate 50 to 60% of the content for his podcast episodes. And Alex even said that. That's what Alex said. Alex was like, dude, you know he's going to try to start a beef with you because that's how he generates his content. So anyway, that's where I will concede a W for him was with that comment. And that's why I said 99.999% chance this is going to be my last video mentioning him for a long while. Because if you remember, before Sunday or before last Friday, I hadn't mentioned him since before Thanksgiving. Yeah, beginning with my first video after Thanksgiving up until this past weekend, I hadn't mentioned the Grim Reaper at all in any of my videos. Okay, here's what at least a couple things I'm gonna call out some shit though, based on his latest reply, and then I'm gonna move on to my main topic for my video today. Which, by the way, is gonna be about. I've been having a lot of people recently asking me, including my last Patreon exclusive. People have been asking me questions about online dating, particularly online dating versus, just meeting people in your day-to-day activities. People been asking me like, Alan, what are some of your general thoughts on the pros and cons of online dating? So that's going to be the main topic of this video. But to address the Grim Reaper and his latest reply. Didn't I say in my very last video that the Grim Reaper, I referred to him as a pseudo-intellectual? Did I not say that? Did I not say that? That he's a pseudo-intellectual? Meaning that he thinks he's far more intelligent than he really is. Now, that's not to say he's unintelligent. I would never say the Grim Reaper is just flat out unintelligent. That would be a lie. That would be a lie. So I would never say he's just a dumbass. But he's not nearly as intelligent as his ego has led him to believe he is. That's what I would say. He's not nearly as intelligent as his ego has led him to believe he is. Another case in point. In his latest reply, he referred to me as 2 things. I'm going to address both. He had at least 2 major criticisms of me. One, he lightheartedly called me the king of the filibuster. The king of the filibuster. So I guess that's his equivalent to me calling him the Grim Reaper. He's calling me the king of the filibuster. But here's the problem. Bless his heart. Here's the problem. When he was expressing his general description and definition of what it means to filibuster someone, he described it in a way that to filibuster means is representative of someone avoiding engaging in a debate with someone. That's how he seems to view the concept of filibustering. Like, one of his criticisms of me is that he said he's basically told his listening audience that he always will challenge me to a debate, and I basically run away from it. That I run away from my debates, his debate challenges. And along those same lines, he refers to that as he basically says, Alan Roger Currie, when he offers responses and rebuttals to me, he'll talk about everything but the specific questions that I've posed to him and the things that I want to, you know, debate him on and challenge him on. So he calls me now the king of the filibuster. Here's the problem with that. For those of you who are ignorant to what a filibuster is, number one, a filibuster it doesn't apply to a talk radio host or a podcaster. That's number one. Maybe in a very casual, informal sense, you could apply it to podcasters and talk radio hosts. But filibustering is something that applies to a legislative arena, like the United States Senate. A legislative arena. That's where the concept of filibustering comes into play. To filibuster does not mean to avoid a debate or run away from a debate or postpone a debate. That's not what a filibuster is. Actually, a filibuster is just the fucking opposite. My microphone on? Okay. I didn't see the light on my microphone. Got me worried. I would hate to do all this. You know, that happened to me one time. I did one video last year, man. I was doing all this motherfucking talking. I must have talked for like about 45 minutes only to realize my microphone wasn't on. Man, that shit pissed me the fuck off, man. Because, you know, I do 95% of my shit unscripted. I don't have no, like some podcasts, they use like pre-written notes and scripts and shit. I don't do that. My shit is just off the top of my head. So, yeah, a filibuster does not mean to avoid a debate or postpone a debate or run away from a debate.
Here's your reminder. Skype consultation. Here's your reminder. Skype consultation.
Ooh, I just got a reminder from my friend Alexa. Who is Alan Roger Currie?
Alan Roger Currie is an American dating coach, self-help author, motivational speaker, and YouTube personality.
Thank you. Okay, that means my time is limited because of that reminder. That means I ain't gonna be able to talk to too long. Yeah, that means I only got about a half hour before I got to wrap this up. Yep, I got about a half hour before because I got a scheduled Skype consultation. That's how I spend most of my days. In case you didn't know, most of my days when I'm not doing videos, I do a variety of things. But the main thing I do on most of my days is I do Skype consultations and reply to people's email consultations, and I do a number of Skype consultations. Even on weekends. That's not just a Monday through Friday. Sometimes even on the holidays. Do you know I've done Skype consultations on at least a handful of times on a holiday? Yep. So I do Skype consultations all the time. Anyway, back to the Grim Reaper. Yeah, a filibuster does not mean to avoid a debate, run away from a debate, postpone a debate. It means actually just the opposite. In the United States Senate, to filibuster someone means to actually extend a debate. It actually means to extend a debate in an attempt to delay an impending vote. That's what it means to filibuster someone. When you're filibustering, that means you're extending a debate. So if I was the king of filibustering with the Grim Reaper, that would mean that me and him are engaging in a debate and he's trying to end the debate, but I'm trying to extend it. That would make me the king of filibustering. is if we were engaged in a debate and he wanted to end the debate and I was the one that was trying to extend the debate. That's filibustering. Filibustering is not running away from a fucking debate. And that's why I call you a pseudo-intellectual. Because if you were a truly educated, intelligent person, you would know that. So, you know, I don't mind somebody coming up with a creative moniker for me or a creative nickname for me that's, you know, validly in line with my behavioral characteristics. But damn, dude, that shit don't even apply to me. I don't extend debates with people when they trying to end it. I'm just the opposite. I'm usually the one that tries to avoid goofy debates like you try to engage me in. So that's number one. But that was more of a lighthearted thing. That wasn't too serious. You know, he was just trying to come up with a creative moniker or nickname for me since I refer to him as the Grim Reaper, which is, in fairness though, the reason I call him the Grim Reaper, he referred to himself as the Grim Reaper. So that wasn't just something I came up with on my own. In that excerpt you heard, he called himself, he said, I am the Grim Reaper up in this bitch. That's exactly what he said. He said, I will watch you die in a pool of blood choking on your own excrement. That's exactly what he said. So yeah, he referred to himself as the Grim Reaper. That's why I call him the Grim Reaper. Matter of fact, both the nicknames I gave him are nicknames I got from him. So I didn't just like on my own make up my shit. You know, he calls himself the old man. And in that excerpt, he referred to himself as the Grim Reaper. But yeah, he lightheartedly called me the king of the filibuster. But again, that's not valid. Because I haven't been trying to extend any debates with him. Now here's a second more serious criticism he had of me. And this is going to illustrate how full of shit he is. This is going to illustrate how full of shit he is. This motherfucker, he reiterated his criticism from his last video where he called me a piss poor debater. And then he took it a step further and now says, I'm an immoral sociopath. Yep. Grim Reaper said, I'm an immoral sociopath. Ooh, I gotta, yeah, I can't talk too long on this, man. My time is limited. Because of the fact that I've multiple times openly acknowledged, both on Blog Talk Radio and here on my YouTube channel, that I've had sex with women who were married, women who were engaged to be married, as well as women who had long-term boyfriends. I've openly acknowledged that multiple times. Matter of fact, he started off his latest reply playing a clip of me acknowledging that. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about it. I noticed, not only in this latest reply, but in the last few months, he's kind of attacked me about that and acted like, you know, he frowns on that. He despises that type of behavior. He thinks it's highly immoral and unacceptable and all this, you know, basically he's been passing judgment on me for the fact that I've slept with other dudes' women. Other dudes' women. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. He knew that when he was promoting my books for a year and a half. See, this is what I told him a long time ago. I told him, I said, dude, if you try to come after me, you're going to have your hands full. Because here's the one thing that separates me from anybody else you've gone after and tried to engage in beefs with. You promoted 3 of my books for a year and a half. And most people know that. But for those who didn't know that, the Grim Reaper promoted my books, and I allowed him to. But he promoted 3 of my books for a year, starting with roughly November of 2015, all the way up until May of 2017. Yeah, 2017, and even a little bit after we fell out, because we fell out in early June of 2017. He even continued to promote him to some degree. Out of my 4 books, now who said again, I think I mentioned this, I want to say he's never promoted that book, or if he did, he might have promoted it once, but he's rarely, if ever, promoted Who Said Again. The main book he's promoted, probably more than any other book, is The Possibility of Sex. He's promoted that book. He actually offered to do a book signing for that book. He did that. He promoted that book. And right behind that book, I would say he's promoted Beta Male Revolution. And then to a far lesser extent, he's promoted Mo 1. Now let's touch on The Possibility of Sex. That's the #1 book he's promoted, man. He did a whole podcast episode about The Possibility of Sex. Back in fall of 2015. He used to always sing the praises of that book. Again, he loved that book so much, he wanted to sponsor a book signing for that book. But guess what? Here's the interesting thing about The Possibility of Sex. In chapter 9 of The Possibility of Sex, I openly admit that I fucked other men's wives, fiancés, and girlfriends. Let me repeat that. In chapter 9 of The Possibility of Sex, his favorite book of mine, I openly admit in that chapter, because I've said this on previous video podcasts before. One of the things that prompted me to write that book, and particularly part 2 of that book, is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 of The Possibility of Sex centers around women who I refer to as manipulative time wasters. Manipulative time wasters. Basically women who want to give you the impression that you got a chance at dating them or having sex with them, but in reality, they're just looking to string you along and use you for your non-sexual companionship or your financial favors. That's what I call a manipulative time waster. So the first 4 chapters in part 1 center on manipulative time wasters. Then part 2 of the book, I talk about what I refer to as simply no good women. Women who are very dishonest, very misandrist, drama queens, women who are adulterers or unfaithful, and wannabe side chicks. But yeah, in chapter 9, when I'm talking about, which centers around women who are a combination of dishonest, adulterous, and unfaithful, I mentioned in that chapter that I've been a number of women's other man. And I go on to say that that's where I gained most of my red pill awareness and knowledge from. It's from being a lot of women's other man. And I've said that on videos. That's where a lot of my knowledge and wisdom that I offer to my clients comes from. Is from my experiences being women's other man. And even to take it a step further, I told him in one of our private conversations when we were cool. When we were cool with each other, one time we were chopping it up on the phone. I remember specifically, I told him about fucking other dudes' wives and fiancés and girlfriends. You know what he said? He was just like, oh man, that's a trip. Wow, that's a trip. That's all he kept saying. Like, dang, that's a trip. He never said, Alan, I frown on such behavior. I think that behavior is immoral. I think that is uncalled for. I think that's the behavior that represents a sociopath. No, he just was like, oh man, that's a trip. Before he and I fell out, he never ever criticized, excuse me. Before he and I fell out, he never once criticized me for sleeping with other dudes' women when we were cool. And he knew about it. He's going to try to tell his followers that he didn't know. He knew about it. Again, he said The Possibility of Sex is his favorite book. It's right there in chapter 9. He said that he's listened to no less than 100 episodes of my Blog Talk Radio show. I talk about that all the time. I used to talk about that all the time on Blog Talk Radio, that I slept with other dudes' wives, fiancés, and girlfriends. And in one of my early videos in April or May of last year, which was before he and I fell out, I mentioned it on a couple of videos then. He never said anything. And he watched all my videos in April and May. He never said anything like, hey, Alan, you know, that's kind of fucked up that you slept with other dudes' wives, fiancés, and girlfriends. He didn't start saying that shit until the last 4 or 5 months. He didn't start saying that shit. So anyway, without getting any longer on that issue, that just shows you how full of shit he is, man. That just shows you how full of shit the Grim Reaper was. That motherfucker knew my character. He knew my character even before, when he was promoting my books. Again, I want to put emphasis on that. This motherfucker is now calling me all kinds of names like an immoral sociopath. Why are you promoting the books of an immoral sociopath? That's what I want to know. Why did you promote my books for 1.5 years knowing that I was an immoral sociopath? That's what I want to fucking know. You promoted the shit out of the possibility of sex. And that's the main book where I admit that I fucked other dudes' women. Is that book more than any other book? And that's your favorite book of mine. Because I don't think I really talk about that in Mode 1 or the Beta Male Revolution. I might touch on it in Who Said Again. But I don't really think I talk about fucking other women, other dudes' women in Mode 1 or Beta Male Revolution. But I definitely talk about it in the possibility of sex. So anyway, he's full of shit. And here's my final thing. And damn, now I might run out of time. Ooh, because see, I got a consultation in like 20 minutes. Because I want to talk about online dating. Oh, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Here's the final thing. Again, this whole back and forth between he and I started with last Friday's video, which was again called How Women's Sexual and Hypergamous Nature Correlates to Male-on-Male Violence. Now, he's turned that video pretty much into a discussion about whether or not Elliot Rodger was mentally ill or simply sexually frustrated. His argument is that Elliot Rodger was not simply romantically or sexually frustrated, but he was mentally ill. And that's why he committed those violent acts. I disagree with that. I say it's a combination of both. I think it was a combination of both, that he was mentally ill and he was romantically and sexually frustrated. I don't think it was one or the other. I think it was a combination of both. So since you said I've been avoiding responding to you about that, that's my response. I think it was both. And I know you probably disagree with that, but I would argue that it was both. But here's the bigger issue. If you go back and watch that video from last Friday, what's one of the things I talk about when I'm talking about the male-on-male violence? I said there's two things I mentioned. I said there's a lot of guys in society who have a pussy ownership problem. A pussy ownership problem. In other words, there's a lot of men who think if they have a woman, particularly a woman who's, say, their girlfriend or their fiance, their wife, they feel like they should own that pussy. And going back to my book, Possible Sex, that's one of the reasons why a lot of guys said they became depressed reading that book. Because I flat out tell guys in that book, I said, if you're one of them guys who think just because you're married or just because you're in a relationship, that means that your wife is definitely monogamous to you, I said, you need to think again. I said, particularly if you're a beta male type. I said, there's at least a 50% chance if you're a beta male type, your wife, fiance, or girlfriend is cheating on you with an alpha male. She's cheating on you. Somebody sent me a video just this morning about that. Some woman on video basically saying that her husband is a beta male and she's tempted to cheat on him with an alpha male. She said her husband has never satisfied her in bed, ever. She's been married to the dude for like 10 years. She said he's never satisfied her in bed, but she said she loves his non-sexual companionship. What have I always said? What have I always said? That's why women hook up with beta males, because they love their non-sexual companionship. And that's what this woman on this video was saying this morning that somebody sent me. But anyway, on my video last Friday, I said a lot of men have a pussy ownership problem. And then along with that, I said, you got a lot of men who are player haters. Player haters. A player hater is a guy who has a high degree of disdain and resentment towards men who are more popular with women than him, who are like ladies' man slash womanizer types. That's a player hater, man. And I talked about, like, when I was in high school, I had a few guys try to start a fight with me simply because I was more popular with women than them. Eddie Murphy talked about that before, how once he became famous, guys used to start fights with him because he was more popular with women than them. Check out this thing, and then I'm going to try to wrap up this part of the video. One of his own followers, in his comment section, in the Grim Reaper's comment section, one of his own followers, guess what he said that I read just this morning? He said something, I'm probably going to paraphrase it slightly, but he said something to the effect of, yeah, man, that's fucked up that Alan Roger Currie has fucked other men's wives and fiancés and girlfriends. I know if I found out that he fucked my wife, man, I would try to break his jaw, or even I might try to kill his ass. Insert dog face here. Doesn't that confirm my point? Doesn't that confirm the very thing that I said on Friday's video? The comment of the Grim Reaper's follower, whatever guy who commented in his comment section, just confirms what I was talking about last Friday. This motherfucker want to kill me because I fuck his wife. What does that say about him? What does that say about him? See, that's what I was talking about last Friday. That's what a player hater, that's the mindset of a player hater. Why would you want to harm a guy who's fucking your wife when your wife is the one who's freely giving that man the pussy? Now, I can see if a man was to say, if another man raped my wife or sexually assaulted my wife in some kind of way, I would be tempted to kill him or physically harm him. I can understand that sentiment. I can understand a guy having that sentiment in that scenario. If you found out that another man raped your wife, your fiance, or your long-term girlfriend, or sexually assaulted her. But if you got a wife or a fiance or girlfriend and she chose to fuck another guy, that's on her. If you got anger towards anybody, it should be towards your woman, not the dude she fucking. If you got anger towards the dude she fucking, then that makes you a player hater. You're a player hater. And actually, that's what my video last Friday was about. It wasn't really about guys like Elliot Rodger. I might have mentioned him, I think, but that wasn't what the video was mainly about. My video last Friday was about guys who are player haters. And guys who are jealous of other men who are ladies' men slash womanizer types to the point that they want to start fights with them or commit violent acts towards them. That's what I was talking about last Friday. And again, your Grim Reaper, one of your own people in your comment section confirmed my sentiments. This motherfucker talking about wanting to harm me because I'm able to fuck his bitch. Hey man, don't get mad at me because I got exceptional seduction skills that I can get your woman's pussy wet. Don't get mad at me because I got exceptional verbal seduction skills that I can get your wife or fiance or girlfriend's pussy wet. Shit. That don't say, you can call me an immoral sociopath all you want to, but that says more about you. Shit, you need to be on top of your sex game if you don't want your woman fucking other motherfuckers. That's what you need to do. Get your sex skills up. Improve your fucking sex skills, motherfucker. If you don't want somebody else fucking your bitch. Now, I've always said I stopped doing that around the age of 40. I no longer do that. But shoot, y'all didn't want to fuck with me in my 20s and 30s, man. I've admitted that before. I was ruthless in my 20s and 30s. Shit, if your wife, fiance, or girlfriend gave me any rhythm, any type of flirtatious rhythm, I was going to fuck her. Believe that shit. I was going to fuck your bitch. Online dating. I don't think, to me, online dating is no better or no worse than just meeting women, like say on the streets or just in your regular activities. Here's where online dating, I think, will benefit a certain type of guy. If you're a guy who's kind of doesn't go out much, kind of reclusive, like a hermit, so to speak. You like to kind of stay in the house a lot. You don't really go out and socialize a lot. That's why I think online dating can benefit you, because it would allow you to connect with women that you otherwise wouldn't connect in just your day-to-day, week-to-week activities. Also, online dating is where I find online dating to be very beneficial is when it comes to traveling. That's where I probably would say most of the time I've benefited from online dating the most, because I travel a lot. Like I'm getting ready to travel next week to San Francisco and Los Angeles. And what I've done a lot of times over the years, like say I know, okay, I'll use this upcoming trip. Let's say I know I'm getting ready to go to San Francisco and Los Angeles. Now, like in Los Angeles, I know so many women there, I don't need to do online dating. I got honeys in Los Angeles. San Francisco? No, not really. So let's say I wanted to hook up with a woman in San Francisco. What I would do is I would go online and look for women who are based in either Oakland or San Francisco. And I would develop chemistry with them online and let them know that, hey, you know, in 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to come to San Francisco. We need to hook up. And if they seem cool, you know, we hook up. I've done that quite a bit, where I knew I was going to go to, like, say, New York. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a recent time I did that was in last December. Yeah, the last time I use that technique was last December. I went to the Washington, D.C. / Northern Virginia area to work with a client. I did a one-on-one face-to-face coaching session with a client in D.C., and I also hooked up with some college friends of mine in that area. And that first night there, I hooked up with a chick that I met online. Yeah, I hooked up with a chick that I met online. So that's what online dating can benefit you. Now, here's where I would challenge the argument. Like a lot of people say, women online are crazier than women you meet in person. Like they have more mental and emotional issues than women you meet in person. That's not true. I disagree with that. For those people who say that, that's not true. I've met a handful of crazy bitches in both regards. I've met some women online who are a little bit off mentally, but I've met some women in person who had mental issues or emotional issues, or, you know, if nothing else, were drama queens. So here's the one type of woman I think you will attract online, probably somewhat more than you will in person. Well, no, I was going to say manipulative time wasters, but no, you can meet a lot of manipulative time wasters in person. But yeah, social media is like a magnet for attention whores, cock teasers, and just general manipulative time wasters. And that's the main thing you got to watch out for. I would say you got to watch out for that, though, in general, not just specifically online, but in general. There's just a lot of women in society, period, that are attention whore types, cock teaser types, and general manipulative time wasters. Here would be my biggest recommendation for dealing with women online. It's just a real simple thing. Don't do too much electronic communication. In other words, heavy-duty texting, heavy-duty instant messaging, heavy-duty emailing. Don't do that. The only thing you should use electronic communication for is to set up a face-to-face interaction or a telephone conversation. That's what I do. I only use electronic communication to set up a face-to-face interaction or a telephone conversation. Other than that, man, I don't do a bunch of exchanging of text messages with people, with women. I don't like that shit. No. So don't do a lot of conversing with women through electronic means. I know a lot of you young guys I talk to, man, y'all love to text women. I mean, that's what they have to generalize millennials, man. Millennials are all about electronic forms of communication, man. I'm old school, man. I ain't into all that instant messaging and text messaging and all that shit. I saw a motherfucker yesterday. Just yesterday, I was driving. See, this is why you have accidents. There was this brother driving, and he wasn't even looking at the road. He was driving, and he was holding his phone and looking down at what was probably a text message. But, I mean, his eyes, I'm not talking about, I know some people might look down for maybe like a microsecond or two. But, I mean, he was driving with his face, like, totally down. And I was like, this motherfucker get ready to hit somebody. He get ready to get into an accident. Y'all gotta watch that shit, man. Don't be texting and driving or looking at text while you're driving. That shit that's as dangerous as drunk driving. So anyway, that's my thoughts on online dating. Again, my general summation is, like any form of meeting women, it has its pros and it has its cons. It's not something that's 100% beneficial, and it's not something that's 100% detrimental. You know, Tinder, I've had some successes hooking up with women from Tinder. Then I've had other women who attempted to waste my motherfucking time. You know, I've met some women on some of the online matchmaking sites. Like, I used to hook up with a lot of women back in the day from a site called Black People Meet. And I hooked up with a few women from Match.com. So I've had some enjoyable and successful hookups from those sites. And I've had some women who tried to waste my motherfucking time. Same with Facebook. Facebook, I've hooked up. Matter of fact, one of my last serious girlfriends, that's how we met. We met on Facebook. I met some women on Facebook that I ended up having, you know, an enjoyable relationship with them. And then some women that tried to waste my motherfucking time. I mean, basically, you're going to meet all 4 archetypes online just like you do in real life. My 4 archetypes of women, which is simply, you're going to meet a small percentage of reciprocators. You're going to meet some rejectors. You're going to meet some wholesome pretenders / erotic hypocrite types. And you're going to run across a hell of a lot of manipulative time wasting types. That's for the average guy. That's always going to be your highest percentage of women you're going to encounter in life. Out of those 4 archetypes is the manipulative time wasters. That's always going to usually be, depending, it's going to range in general from guy to guy. But generally speaking, your largest percentage of women you're going to always come in contact with is the manipulative time waster types, which means you got to be what? Which means you got to be what? Mo one, baby. Make it happen. So with that, the king of filibustering will wrap up his video. That's right. The king of the filibuster will wrap up his video. That shameful, immoral sociopath who has no man code and fucks other men's wives, fiancés, and girlfriends, at least used to. Shame on me. Shame on me doing something like that. Shame on me. Don't be a player hater, man. Don't be a player hater. It ain't my fault I was able to fuck your bitch. It's your fault. If you was putting it down in the bedroom and you were more seductive, then you wouldn't have your woman stepping out on you. Don't hate me, man, because I'm a bad verbal seducer. Don't hate me. Don't hate me because I know I got good bedroom skills. Don't hate me. You need to keep your girl in check, man. Keep your wife in check. Keep your fiance in check. Keep your girlfriend in check. Again, y'all lucky I'm in my 50s now. Because I'm telling you, a lot of you guys who criticize me, if y'all would have ran into me in my 20s and 30s, shit. Shit. Anyway, later. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. you're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.